Well, hello everyone. It's that time again, 6 p.m. on Thursday evenings, and that's been the story of our term. That's been the time when we've had wonderful musicianship, great dedication from our pupils. So, a very warm welcome, everyone, to our Summer Sounds concert here at the virtual lockdown of Ardingly College. I'd like to welcome, obviously, all of you, the pupils, the parents. We've got Granny and Grandma from all over the world. We've got composers, hopefully, I think, in our audience tonight, which you'll see, and organists, not just Mr. Thompson. And of course, Gerald and the new addition, Palmerston, are watching at home. But a little bit more on them a bit later on. So, as you're probably aware, we've had a very get into a few details about the concert. I'd just like to share a couple of highlights actually with you. It's a little bit of a plug for the marketing department, of course, that we have got this newly invented Ardingly Music YouTube channel where we've got the various concerts that the children have participated in. So I would encourage you to have a look at those if you haven't already. And if you have, relive those memories. Secondly, though, there have been huge amounts of musical dedication over the last 10 weeks. And we've had some amazing highlights. Those of you that watched the Levers concert, Alvaro in his garden playing flamenco music in Madrid. It was Louis von Duser mixing 4 guitar parts at once, I think, under the inspiration of his guitar teacher, Mr. Weston. We've had singers galore, we've had pianists, we've had musicians from year 3 all the way up to the upper 6. It's been simply wonderful. However, we've had also, for me, we've had one seminal moment of music in this lockdown. And really, the reason I think this is my highlight of the lockdown period is the sheer joy that music brings. Those of you that might know him, he's larger than life, he's louder than life, he's Alan in year 3. I've just made that up, but I think it works. Alan in year 3 just loves his music. And I think Mr. Freer has actually got an archive clip here of him playing his trombone. So let's just have a quick reminder here of Alan playing the Bare Necessities. What an amazing performance. Those of you might have seen the Levers concert as well. It kind of went full circle because we had Will Price sending in a slightly surprise submission of the Bare Necessities as well. But both of them captured what the purpose of music is. It's about enjoyment and it's about giving pleasure and entertainment to everyone else. So thank you, Alan. Absolute stalwart of this lockdown period. Now, just quickly before we get started, I've got a few statistics for you, courtesy, of course, of the wizard that is Mr. Freer. So just for your information, this of course is our 10th concert. We weren't counting Sunday's St. John Smith Square. So 10 virtual concerts. We've had over 900 hours of viewing throughout this lockdown. And we've had 5,000, yes, 5,000 views of the concerts. So hopefully with this concert, we can continue to obviously push that north. We've had audiences, of course, in the UK. We've had widespread appreciation across Europe, France, Germany, Spain. I think we've had some in Russia as well. We've had as far-flung places as Hong Kong, of course, and New Zealand. And on the other side of the pond, of course, the States. We had some views over the course of the term from there. We've got for you then, just to go one more number north of 10, we've got 11 ensembles for you tonight, ranging from across the whole breadth of the prep school up to the senior school. One thing I would just ask, you'll see that we are we're getting bigger, certainly on Twitter. So it would be great if you can if you feel the inclination to share with us the experience that you're having. So feel free to take some pictures of you wining and dining yourselves in hopefully sunny Sussex, if that's where you are, or hopefully, obviously, at different times of the day, wherever you are in the world. So just tweet us in at Ardingly Music. It'd be great to see some pictures. You saw, those of you that have checked in, we've had chance to do a nice little montage of Mr. Thompson receiving his one of his farewell gifts, but we'll get onto that a bit later. The music department will also tweet some pictures, I think, throughout the course of the evening. So please do that. The other thing, of course, is we've made a program. There's a program in PDF form, which should be, you can click on the link in the YouTube description just below, obviously, where I'm speaking. So do click on that. There's some lovely program notes from people's involved in the ensembles. So do take the time to read them. And of course, the program order, which is there. So what have we got for you tonight? As I say, a wider range of ensembles. We've also got some interviews and some commentary as well. So what I would say to you, make sure you've got something to eat, something to drink. If you haven't, you've got time now, because I've just got one more thing to say before. And you know me, I like to witter on. So just before we start, I'm going to introduce you now to the first segment of our concert. We're dividing this up into different sort of packages of music. And we've got to start with the Prep School Chapel Choir singing The Lord is My Shepherd by the wonderful Howard Goodall. And you'll see here a vast number of videos. I think Mr. Freer had to battle with 39 or 40 videos for this one. After that, we have a senior string quartet playing a movement of Ravel's string quartet in F major. This is a great collaboration. We've got Enrico in North Germany to the Hortons in Linfield, and I think Louis a bit further down the road in Uckfield. So obviously a Sussex theme, but of course Enrico chipping in there from Northern Germany. And then just to finish off the set, we've got the girls' choir, who were formed this year under the very skillful direction of Mr. Thompson, of course. And they are doing, this is a horrible cliche, but I'm going to say it anyway. They're doing some Chilcot, the Lullaby in Blue. So make sure you've got something to eat. Make sure you've got something to drink. I know Gerald and Palmerston are watching. I hope you are too. Enjoy our first three items. See you in a minute.
The Lord is my shepherd.
Wow, there we are. Our first three items for this evening's concert. What an eclectic mix already. And just a quick name check there, actually. We've, of course, the wizardry of Mr. Freer, of course, in putting all of this together, but we've actually got some students who've put some music together as well. So that aspect of the concert moving forwards. So, as you probably are aware, when you've watched the concerts throughout the course of term, we've had some interviews with both pupils and some staff. Some of these have been very much sort of pre-organised. Some of them have been slightly off the cuff. And again, we're off the cuff again this evening. And it's my delight, of course, to welcome Mr. Figgis, who is watching the concert, I believe, here in Ardingly. But he is going to join us now for a quick chat. So I'm hoping that Mr. Figgis is around. There he is. So first of all, Mr. Figgis, the first question is, how's the lockdown been for you? How have you found it?
Long, I think, just like everybody else. But I finally managed to actually get back into my office. So here's a picture of the college behind me, which is in my office. And yeah, it's been pretty extensive, this lockdown, hasn't it? So not a short one, but we've kept ourselves going with a bit of worrying about getting back to school, which we had confirmed today that we're going to be able to do, which is great. And other than that, I've just been doing a bit of cooking, trying to outcook my family, keep ahead of them on the old culinary skills. And like all middle-aged men, trying to lose a bit of weight. I've actually been running endlessly around 9 Acre. So I know every foothill and turret and little dent in 9 Acre that there is to know. So that's been good.
Fantastic. So we'll see you on the colour run then next year, that iconic photo from a couple of years back.
Oh, another colour run. Yeah, you get bombarded with in the colour run. So that's no, it's good fun. I'll be doing any short run. I had the misfortune of being down on 9 Acre when Mr. Johnson went down for his run the other day, and I found myself being lapped quite quickly. So as long as he's not running, I'll be out there.
Fantastic. Now let's go to obviously the musical side of things. You yourself are, I'm going to say are, you might say were, but I'm going to say are a musician. Can you enlighten us with your musical experience?
Well, they say you're never an ex-musician. You're always a musician, because you go anywhere, every band plays until they drop dead, don't they? So that's kind of the point of being a musician, is that you never retire from it. But I was never a proper musician like you or like any of the people playing in the concert tonight. But I was a chorister at school, and then I played at university. I mostly just used it as a way of getting into the back door of balls and parties and stuff. So I played in a blues band, a jazz band, and then I played the euphonium weirdly enough, in a country and western band, rather strangely. So I went from sort of trumpet to euphonium and became a bit like the bass player at the back, playing the bass, but on the euphonium. And then I think that was probably enough for everybody, so I gave up after that.
And it's something, of course, you've had 3 children through the college, and they've all done their music as well, haven't they?
Yeah, some more than others, but in the way of children. One of the great things about music is that the more you do it, the better you get at it, and the more you enjoy it. A few of them have taken it on, and one of them maybe hasn't done so much.
That's important, though, isn't it? It's about the collective experience as well, which is really valuable. Talking about sort of collective experiences, what do you think's been for you the musical highlight of this year?
Well, the musical highlight of this year never happened, did it? It would have been Glyndebourne, but it'll be the musical highlight of next year instead. I think, the John Smith Square concert, undoubtedly. Just being there and hearing the wonderful music that the children managed to produce in that on that stage was wonderful. And then Alvaro will live long in the memory for so many of us, for so many reasons. And I remember Alvaro coming when he joined in Remove with his parents, and his parents asked if he liked to play the guitar a bit, and could he have some lessons. So seeing Alvaro 4 years later doing a guitar solo behind his neck, behind his back, by the altar, was pretty special.
I would absolutely agree. That was probably one of the proudest moments for me. But I think, without being too cliched, there have been quite a lot this year. Obviously the prep school "We Will Rock You" in Chequermead was pretty sensational as well. So there's been a whole and obviously the senior school had Chicago as well from a sort of musical perspective. Just quickly before we finish, why do you think music's important? I've got my airtime with the headmaster here, so I'm going to use it. There's a lot of press around about the arts and what have you. For you, why is music such an integral part of what we do at Ardingly?
Well, I think is this point about it staying with you for life. Tomorrow we've got our leavers, unfortunately not here in Commem properly, but online event when we say goodbye to our upper six, and we've got such a fabulous group of upper six musicians. So I just want to pay tribute quickly to them for all the joyful music that you've brought to us in your time at the school, and for you and anyone who invests their passion and their energy into music when you're young, it stays with you forever. And so it's that feeling that you can express yourself in different ways as a musician as you grow up and get older, and you want to find different ways of playing music and expressing yourself. But if you're a sportsman, you've got to retire at some stage. Even if you're a lawyer or a banker, you've got to retire at some stage. And musicians just keep on trucking on and have great fun with it as they go. So it definitely reaches parts that other parts of life and culture can't bring you. And I think that's people have gone back during the lockdown to their favorite music. They've explored new music. They've sort of used the time in many ways to find different forms of music. So it's that sort of endlessness of it. It's like a never-ending piece of string that you keep kind of pulling, and it never ends. So there's always more music to explore and different music to explore. And once you've kind of got a musical bug, either playing or listening, then it's a gift for life. Not in
Fantastic.
my case. But for most of you, it's a gift for life.
Well, that thread is really topical because music is about curiosity. So that's what we're going to move to in our second segment. So thank you very much, Mr. Figgis, for joining us. And we hope that, of course, you enjoy the rest of the concert. So to continue this kind of musical curiosity, one man that's not been discombobulated by this coronavirus, of course, is Mr. Lekubari, Alvaro, who Mr. Figgis talked about. And the next piece that we've got for you is the Latin Quarter, played by the jazz band, which has been mixed by Alvaro. He's also video edited this, so that's all done by a boy in the upper six. After that, we talked about music as curiosity. I was introduced to this piece by one of our violin teachers. We've got a piece for 6 violins with 6 separate solos, if you will. We've got a range of pupils across both schools there playing a very famous theme by Paganini, no less. And then to finish in not obviously seasonal terms, but we've got the Prep School Orchestra playing Winter from the Four Seasons, one of the pieces they were working on, of course, last term before the lockdown happened. So that will finish off our set of 3. So again, I will see you on the other side. Enjoy this tripartite musical extravaganza segment 2. See you in a minute. So that's your second segment, all done and dusted. And one thing I would just like to say, of course, is that we are completely live here. So I am sat here in real time at 6:45 here in sunny Sussex. And for that point, I'd like to just say hello, of course, to Tessa Younger, and hopefully Oscar's there as well. Obviously, the best family watching away in Sussex, and one of our teachers, Miss Deng, is watching, I think, down in Eastbourne. So hello to all of you, and I hope you're enjoying this musical extravaganza, which is full of variety. We've got all kinds of different music here. So to move on to our second interview, those of you will obviously have seen Mr. Hastings out and about. I think I saw on Twitter yesterday he was out and about delivering books to Year 8 leavers. A wonderful, wonderful thing to see. But we also caught up with Mr. Hastings earlier in the lockdown period. So I'm hoping he's on the line, and I'd like to see how he's getting on. So, Mr. Hastings, how have you been since we last caught up about 6 weeks ago?
Very good, Richard. Very nice to see you, and very nice to see everybody. And as always, wonderful to hear the music that you guys and your team managed to produce. So great to be here, and yeah, lovely to see you. Thank you.
And of course, this week's been great, hasn't it? Because you've had various years in the prep school back, which I remember one of our esteemed colleagues at a former institution. We're not going to say what that is, but he always said that schools were not about the buildings; they're about the people, which I always found deeply ironic. But I won't go any further. But it is about the people, isn't it? So who have you seen this week?
We have had back in the prep school this week Year 3 and Year 4. And today we brought back in Year 8, which was just magic. I mean, it's been wonderful having 3 and 4 for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the team and all of them had a wonderful time. It was great to see them in action. We ended up with a little prize giving on ceremony and some dancing. Even I was dancing a little bit, but luckily that wasn't recorded. And then we had Year 8 today for a final service in the chapel, which was brilliant. And I'm sure lots of you have watched it on YouTube. Really good, worthwhile. And hopefully you will have a few thousand views on that as well, like your music concerts, I think you said earlier. But yes, lovely to see Year 8 back in today for their final huzzah. And hopefully we'll be able to have them back in for some sort of celebration, as you know, in terms of some sort of ball or barbecue in September, depending on what the government allows us to do.
That's it, isn't it? We'll have to play all these things by ear, of course. And going back to music, how's it been in the Hastings household? Because you've got 3 children now, all playing away, I think.
Yeah, Lizzie had a flute lesson today, which is great. It's still going on, so thank you very much, music team. And I think I was with Miss Munro, and then we had Mrs. Munro, and then we had Barney's been. I think he had a trumpet lesson today with Mr. Baker, or yesterday, and Rex had a saxophone lesson as well with Mr. Patton. So all good, really. But yes, I'm still the 5th best musician in the house, so that's okay because my wife's quite a good flautist as well. But yes, they're still number 5, 5th best skier, 5th best musician, 5th best grower of hair. But that's about me, really.
It's all relative, though, isn't it? I mean, you're comparing yourself there against pedestals of musical kind of excellence, so, or what will be musical excellence, of course. It's great. Yeah, just a name check. There's those of you watching in the prep school, of course, Mr. Hastings' youngest boy there, Rex, starting his strides on the saxophone. So it's perfect. Year 3, Year 4, Year 5 to start learning an instrument. I can't encourage that more. And if you want any information, there's a quick shout out, of course. Make sure you get in touch and we'll see what we can do. So for you, what about the musical sort of the lockdown? What you've been watching away the prep school sort of concerts. Have you had any particular highlights there? We saw Alan, of course, at the start, but any others that you stand out for you?
I think, yes, very much. I really did enjoy Alan and his work. But I think actually the one that got me the best, or the one that sort of made me just sit up and just go, wow, that was quite amazing, was Tilly Withington. And I thought she was quite sensational. I mean, the Withington family did do a wonderful job in their house. And yet it was just Tilly's performance was quite something. But the away from prep school, I think it was the senior school, the Leavers concert I put on one morning early, and I was typing away, doing, sort of 1 or 2 emails or whatever it was. And I had my phone next to me with the concert on. And I was just watching it, and it was so emotional, so extraordinary. And I know Alvaro's been mentioned already, but I didn't know who Alvaro was. But now I'm going to buy all his records, and I'm going to just listen to him. And he was quite sensational. And then all the wonderful singers, you know, whether it was Rebecca and co, and they were just, it was just extraordinary. And actually to see a number of your senior school, what was it, the house shout, which I haven't been to, but I'm now going to put down in my diary and make sure I go every year, because, you know, whether it's playing guitar behind your back or whether it's just seeing I think it is Sophia Evans, you know, and her team, the whole it was brilliant, and just really engaging, and you know, without trying to be sycophantic or whatever it is, Richard, but you know, what you get out of them is quite sensational. And the same with, you know, with Mr Smith and the prep school, because it's something I think we do quite remarkably, and with the great thing is we've continued to do so, if not sort of excelled ourselves over lockdown. So thank you very much for that.
Well, that's very kind, and you know, we'll talk about the staff and what have you a bit later. I think the going back to the house song, that's my emphasis. House song, not a shout. So that's the key difference when we go to certain schools. So that's something that we're continuing to try and build, which is great. Just before we finish, because we've got to move on to obviously our third segment. And do you have anything to just generally to pass on, you know, to our musicians, or of course ahead of the summer holidays? We've obviously at the end of this, hopefully, what will be the end of this alien sort of this period, before we return to some sense of normality in September.
Well, it's always the way, and I think Ben's kind of alluded to it as well. But you know, you are a musician. You probably play every day, listen every day, all that kind of stuff. And I think it's one of the things that one always says to pupils, children, when they leave, is don't give up music. Just keep playing. You'll only realize how much you regret it when you get to be sort of old and grey or greyish like me, and you just. I mean, I play a tiny bit, but I wish I played a lot more. And I should not have stopped. And I think, so parents out there, pupils out there, brothers and sisters, just encourage each other, because it's such an extraordinary thing to do together. And you can do it anywhere in the world, and you can pick up an instrument anywhere in the world. I mean, let's go back to Alvaro. He's going to make friends just simply by playing his, you know, by playing his guitar, because he's such a genius at it. And, you know, the singers, the dancers, the everything. It's just a wonderful thing to do, and just never stop playing, practicing, and getting better, and enjoying being part of a band, or just even on your own, because it's a real gift, and I think we're very blessed having you in charge, Richard. There we go. Thank
you very much. So, well, as Mr Hastings says, we're never going to stop, and we're not stopping yet. So we're on to the third segment. Thank you very much for your time, Mr Hastings. Just a quick shout out, Miss Pedlingham, the house mistress of Neil, watching away. So hello to you, Miss Pedlingham, and your Neil Lions. I'm going to call them that. We see on Twitter, obviously a very strong house musically. And of course, as well, with Miss Deng is, of course, Mr. Deng. So hello to you, and I hope you're enjoying the concert as well. So for our third segment, we have three different ensembles again. Kicking us off, we've got Scola singing one of their favourite songs, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. But this was a new addition that we learned in lockdown, which was actually suggested by one of the boys, Alex Constantinou in Mertens. Great lad, whose singing's come on leaps and bounds. And he found this arrangement, and by Pentatonics, which I think is this kind of very much contemporary a cappella American vocal group. So we've done that, and of course the rainbow has been an iconic sort of image or symbol as we can. After that, we go to Shay Horton for a piano duet, which is an ensemble. We've got the Horton sisters there, so putting it together wasn't too hard, but of course they've practiced away. So we've gone to Linfield for a third movement of a French composer called Poulenc. Maybe that's our segment here, Pentatonics to Poulenc. Anyway, I witter on. And then finally, we've got the orchestra, the symphony orchestra in senior school, and they've started work on the symphony for the London concert in April 2021, which is by a very random Russian composer called Kalinikov. So go and look him up. And this is the slow movement, which has been very kindly put together by our one and only Mr. Pozzuto, the effervescent, the pineapple, if you want a fruit of the musical department we have at Ardingly. So three things for you: Scola, the Poulenc duet, and then we've got the symphony orchestra. So I will see you on the other side with a guest interview who shall remain unnamed until you see him in a few minutes. Bye for now. So a bit of relative calm for us amid this musical extravaganza. As you can see, we have a man of immense power sat next to me. This is the man that controls everything on Wednesday mornings when I try to do congas with the whole school. He can do anything at that point. And thankfully, over the last 4 years, he's played everything in time perfectly. So we've got with us here tonight, Mr. Thompson, aka the Organ Dude. So we're going to catch up with him in this obviously very real life situation. So, Jack, we're not going to say Mr. Thompson. As you know, we're all friends. How's the lockdown been?
Yeah, all fine. Been busy in Leicester, doing lots of cooking, learning some new recipes and stuff. Obviously, looking forward to Saturday when it all ends. I've got my haircut booked, which is obviously the important thing.
That's a very big thing for Mr.
Big thing
Thompson.
for me, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. And obviously, when it starts to open again, getting involved with some music as and when we can. But yeah, no, looking forward to the end as it happens.
The end of what's going on. What musically have you done in this lockdown period? Have you done anything for yourself?
Yeah, so I've been doing some piano practice, trying to keep that up, because obviously it's quite easy to lose touch in that respect. So keeping that, I've been playing the cello a little bit as well. So just trying to keep it going, basically. Listening to lots as well.
Yeah, that's important. I found myself listening to a lot more music. Because of the time.
Yeah, for sure. And exploring new things that you perhaps wouldn't have time to listen to normally.
Yeah,
it's been good.
So let's talk about Ardingly. This 4-year journey from the super gap, as I called him, the super grad, is coming to a close. What if you had to pinpoint one memory of your musical memory? Let's go for a musical memory first.
Well, there's so many, aren't there? I mean, it's a very busy department, and we're so fortunate to have so many opportunities with the kids in terms of concerts, even songs, informal, more formal, internal, external, etc. I think tours probably for me, both prep and senior, getting that chance to work on something over a sustained period of time and then going somewhere to perform that to a new audience that perhaps haven't seen it before, and you get some new appreciation that way. I think Vienna, Prague, Malta. All of those have been really good.
And then Tuscany, of course.
Yeah, for sure. Mr. Smith, his tours are very good as well. So I think that's probably the highlight in terms of that sort of journey you go on before you get there, and then sort of performing and concerts and services that when you get there as well. Socially and musically, I think they're both really rewarding in that respect. Yeah,
I think the tours, that's a big thing that we've tried to instill by having that marriage of music and the social aspect, which is important.
For sure.
And what about more widely, memories of Ardingly? What kind of things stand out for you sort of outside the department?
Well, I came here.
You can say the gardener's arm.
Well, we've given them some good business, haven't we, for the 4 years that I've been here. No, it's a very happy place to work. I came here back in 2016, sort of not knowing whether teaching was something I wanted to do or would enjoy or was any good at. I came here sort of, wanting to try it out for the year. Yeah. Obviously, that's lasted for 4 years, which has been lovely and really rewarding in that sense. Yeah. I've really enjoyed it. I'll let other people decide whether I'm any good at it or not. There's been so many highlights, both in the music department, pastorally, socially, educationally. There's just too many to name. Really, it's been really enjoyable 4 years.
And as you move on up to Oxford, up to St Edward's, what do you think you'll miss?
I think again, lots of things in terms of we have a great team. Ardingly. It's not to say, of course, it won't be a great team where I'm moving to, but I've learned so much. Obviously, I came here as a sort of postgrad student, if you like, and in terms of teaching, obviously, you've had to have the experience of observing me 30 times last year, my PGCE, so that's been really useful.
That was actually really good because I got to learn.
As I said, musically, educationally, all that sort of stuff. There's been so many highlights and so many things that I've learnt over the time that I've been here.
Fantastic. And before we sign off and move on to sort of the fourth segment, what if you had a piece of advice for all of our children watching here, both from sort of year 3, Alan, I know he's watching in year 3, all the way up to Sophia and people like that in the upper 6 who are leaving us. What musical advice would you give them?
It's interesting, isn't it? I was watching the Leavers concert with Alvaro, Sophia, and how big I was speaking about what advice they'd give. And I'd agree with everything they said in terms of enjoying it, making the most of all the opportunities that they have when they're here at Ardingly, both in the prep school and in the senior school. I would say it goes very quickly. The time at the school goes very quickly indeed. And when you get to the upper six, you realise how quickly the previous years have gone. So I think to make the most of the opportunities that you get, to do something that perhaps is out of your comfort zone, I think is really important, because when you get and when you do it, you'll realise actually you really enjoyed that. And it's something for you to look back on with fond memories, and then take forward to university life and perhaps after that as well. And you know, it's a fantastic department which provides so many opportunities for the students here, and a wide breadth of different activities as well. So to make the most of that, to really immerse yourself in all the stuff, the orchestras, the choirs, the bands, etc. Not to be afraid to give something a go. I think is the thing that I would say.
Fantastic.
Sure.
Yeah. So, you know, we've heard sage words there from a man. As he said, he joined us aged a ripe old age, I think, of 21, just technically. And he has gone from being someone that photocopied music for the grand total of one day, when I realised that actually he was probably more competent than that. And as no doubt many of you will have witnessed, both in an academic and an extracurricular capacity, we have had, of course, a huge amount to thank for Mr. Thompson's expertise over the last 4 years. So there's a little bit later on. I'm not going to spoil the fun, but there we are. Sage words, as I said a few seconds ago, from Mr. Thompson. Quick shout outs, just as we're doing here, to Mrs. Best, who's been an absolute stalwart of the Twitter and the social media following we've got here, and Harrison in year 7, who's got a stunning voice, and he was actually, I'm gonna embarrass him here, he was in the final of the Woodard School's Young Musician of the Year, and to all intents and purposes came second by getting a live screening of his performance in the final showpiece. So hello, Harrison and family, I hope you're all well and you're singing away, and you've obviously seen him this evening in the prep school choir, and you might see him a bit later in the prep chamber choir as well. So what have we got next for you in segment 4? Right, we've got one of our legends of the music department, the one and only Michael Tang. We're kicking off with Traces, which is one of Mr. Thompson's favourite hits. Michael Tang, listen out for that bass slide. Yeah, there it is, Mr. Thompson. I'll just do it again. Just do that again for us. There we are. It's about 3 bars in. You can't miss it. It's brilliant. And then we've got Freya, of course, playing the sax tune. And then after that, we've got an emotional number from Scholar called The Road Home, which we discovered. Lovely setting. And again, one of our vocal leads there, Effie, who's got an absolutely stunning voice. So listen out to that for one last time, or hopefully not one last time, in her solo in The Road Home. Following that, we go back to the prep school, and this is a great number. The Parnis Angelicus by Alexander Lestrange, who is a very, very eclectic and eccentric and exuberant. What other words have we got? And excellent. Let's go for that.
He wears nice shirts as well.
Oh, he wears nice. He does wear nice shirts. More flowery than even Mr. Thompson. And he's introduced, he's given us a little message, and he's actually playing for the prep school children, which is absolutely lovely. So you don't have to listen to me getting all the wrong notes and beating out of time. And then before we finish, the last number, is a chapel choir classic, Be Thou My Vision, which is beautiful. It rings a bell for me, one of the hymns I had at my wedding, those words, alongside, of course, many people, I'm sure, something we sing in chapel as a hymn relatively frequently. But this is a really nice number as well, because we've actually got Simon Walton, who is an OA, who's gone on to study music at Oxford and having a great time. If you actually go to the BBC Young Musician of the Year oboe or woodwind final, you actually see him. He's not doing it, but he's got some airtime on BBC television in a tutorial there with one of the finalists. So check that out if you've got a spare hour, which I'm sure many of you haven't. But he's playing the piano beautifully for us, and we've got some other OAs. We've got Ollie Pilgrim. We've got Ian Brown. We've got Paulina and Melissa from yesteryear in contributing to that montage. So a massive shout out to that old Ardinian community that came to us to try and contribute to that. It wasn't me going to them. Melissa sent me an email, which was great to see. So thank you, Melissa, and thank you for you guys and your contribution and the musical legacy, of course, that you've given. So we've got those 4 numbers. Sit back, relax, top up your drink if you need to. I'm sure some of you do. And we'll see you in a few minutes. Bye for now.
Hello, I'm Alexander Lestrange, the composer of Parnis Angelicus, and I'm really delighted that you've chosen this for your school concert, your virtual recording for your virtual concert. I wish I could be there, but I'm virtually here with you now playing the piano. So here we go with the performance for you to sing along to of Parnis Angelicus.
Panis Angelicus, fit panis hominum, dat panis celibus, figuris Dominum.
So, a bit like Gerald and the other concerts, he doesn't leave my side. You'll notice Mr. Thompson has still stayed here to watch the concert, which is great. So, just before we come to our final piece, we've actually got something for Mr. Thompson here. So, enjoy this. He'll enjoy it as well. And if you want to write the comments in the chat, feel free to celebrate this wonderful man's contribution to all the music over the last 4 years. Off you go, Mr. Freer. Good evening, Mr. Thompson, Jack, the organ dude, maestro. All these names obviously associated with your wonderful contribution to all the music at Ardingly. So this is a little bit of a surprise package for you. We have created, well, you'll see in a few minutes time, the thoughts and reflections of the pupil and staff body here at Ardingly. And from me to you, your contribution has been completely wholesome. It's been completely wide-ranging. It's been, quite frankly, completely invaluable to everything we have achieved over the last 4 years. Arriving as the first ever PGAT, that's a serious accolade to now being, obviously, head of academic music and heading off to Oxford, to St Edward's School there, to be their head of academic music. And as is mentioned across numerous pupil interviews and staff videos here, our loss is absolutely their gain. So from me to you, Jack, as a trusted colleague, but also, and more importantly, I think, an even better friend, I wish you every success. You deserve everything that comes to you. And no doubt we will stay in touch when we bring the girls' choir to Oxford at some stage. If Hurricane Doris doesn't happen, or whatever it was earlier this year, I'm sure we will catch up. But here is a little summary of your impact and the thoughts of our pupils and staff alike. Thank you for everything you've done. You've been, quite frankly, superb.
Goodbye, Mr. Thompson. Thank you so much for being such a good music teacher for me for 3 years and bringing life to this piece. Wish you all the best. Hope to see you again.
Hi Jack, just a quick message to wish you the best in your future and good luck. You'll be sorely missed.
Hi sir, thank you for everything you've done with music at the school. It's been great. We're all going to miss you. Good luck.
Dear Jack, I know, the hair. There's no barbers around. Everything is closed down in Madrid. So just bear with me for the moment, sir. It's been 5 years knowing you, so seeing you go is obviously going to be very emotional, sir. And I think I speak for both pupils and teachers from the music department when I say you're going to be deeply missed and you're going to be a huge loss to the community. However, I do wish you the best of luck in your future endeavours, and I do hope that offer to have a pint at the Red Line is standing, and we will meet that as soon as possible, sir. A very warm hug from Madrid, from a very sunny Madrid at the moment. Take care, sir, and stay in good health, please.
Hi, sir. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us at Ardingly. We're all going to miss you lots.
Goodbye, sir. Thank you for all you've done, and good luck in the future. Sorry to see you go. Bye.
Jack Thompson, now that you're leaving, who's going to play all my cheesy musical theatre? I'm going to miss you a lot. Oxford is really, really lucky to have you. You're going to be brilliant. Congratulations on your new job. Thank you for everything you have done, and see you around the musical block.
Hi, sir. Thank you for everything you've done for the school. We will severely miss our organ dude, and good luck in your next job.
Hi, sir. Just very quick, thank you very much for everything that you've done for me as a tutor or as a teacher throughout those years, especially in jazz band, where you've been a very efficient coach for me and helped me build a lot of confidence. Just, yeah, thank you for everything.
Hi, sir.
Thank you for everything you've done over the past 4 years, especially GCSE. We would not been able to do it without you. Good luck with your new job. I'm sure you'll be great, and we'll really miss you.
I just want to say thank you so much for everything you've done, and good luck at Oxford.
Hi Jack, sorry you're leaving. I'm going to miss you. I wanted to say thank you for all the help and patience you've shown with my GCSE students, especially this year with a certain person doing a duet. I hope the results are worth it. I think we certainly appreciated it all. Good luck next year. I think St Edward's have gained an amazing member of staff. Have fun. Bye.
Hi Jack, just a quick message to say thank you so much for everything that you have given to Ardingly over the past few years. I think for me, your organ playing has been a highlight, and I really enjoyed listening to the girls' choir, which was of an exceptionally high standard. Sorry we didn't get to do the trip to Oxford, but it looks as though you're going on a permanent trip to Oxford, so hopefully I can bring a group and maybe catch up with you sometime next year. All the best of luck for your future, and I hope your new job goes well. Bye.
Hi sir, thank you for everything you've done for me at Ardingly, particularly in string ensemble. I feel like I've learned so much from you, and you'll be dearly missed at Ardingly, but I'm sure you'll do amazing in your new job, and best of luck.
Hi Jack, just wanted to say sorry to hear you're leaving, but all excited for the future, and I personally wanted to thank you for all the help you've given me with my GCSE students over the years, so thank you, and all the best.
Thompson, I'd like to thank you for teaching me so much music. You've been such a great teacher and you were so nice to us. We're surely going to miss you. And finally, wish you the best luck in your new job. Thank you.
Hi sir, thank you for everything that you've done for the music school and your time here. I hope you have a really nice time at your new job, but we're all going to miss you so much.
Hey Jack, congratulations on your new appointment over in Oxfordshire. Ardingly's loss is going to be St Edward's gain, but hopefully you'll keep in touch and we'll be able to collaborate on some projects in the near future. All the best for now. Bye.
Hi Mr Thompson, I just wanted to say thank you so much for everything you've done for the music department. I can't thank you enough for helping me improve on my composition, my theory, and generally just becoming a better musician. Thank you so much and good luck at your new job.
Freya's hurt her throat so she can't talk, but she wants to say goodbye and she'll really miss you. And the MVs love you very much.
I'd like to say a big thank you to Mr Thompson for taking me for music in Remove, for guiding me through the GCSE syllabus, and yeah, for increasing my musical knowledge tenfold. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Thompson, for everything you have done in the music department over the past 4 years. I wish you the best in Oxford.
Hi sir, thank you so much for teaching us at Ardingly and making such a big impact here. I hope that you enjoy your time at Oxford and you will be missed massively.
Hi sir, I just wanted to say thank you so much for everything that you've done, not only for me but for everyone around the college. It's truly meant a lot and we're going to miss you.
Hi Mr Thompson, I'd just like to quickly say thank you so much for everything you've done for the music department. I wish you all the best in your new job, and I know that everyone at Ardingly is going to miss you so much when you're gone.
You've been such a great help and you're going to be missed by everyone. I hope you have the best time at your new job.
Sir, I just wanted to say thank you for your dedication and your patience, especially with my recordings and choir. The music school definitely won't be the same without you. Good luck and we'll miss you.
Mr Thompson, I haven't been at Ardingly for very long and I'm quite new to the music department, but I know your impact there has been instrumental. I wish you all the best at your next job. Thank you.
Jack, I am going to miss you so much. I've just loved working alongside you for these last few years and working together with you on so many ensembles and things. And I'm going to really, really miss you. Lucky old Oxford, and I hope to see you really soon. Like Richard said, it's not far away, so either I can get there or hopefully you come back and visit. All right, and wishing you all the best, and you'll be just great, wherever you end up, whatever you do. Okay, bye. Lots of love.
Hi Mr Thompson, we just wanted to say thank you so much for all the support and encouragement you've given to us over the past 4 years. The music department won't be the same without you and all the students are going to miss you so much. We couldn't have done it without you, so thank you and good luck at your next job. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you very much for your dedication. Thank you very much for what you've done for the choir. You really made it something that was very...
I hope you do well in Oxford and have a happy time there.
Hi, Mr. Thompson. I just want to say thank you so much for all your help with GCSE music and everything you've organised in the music school. It's been a really good 3 years. I wish you luck in the future and in your new job. Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Thompson. I just wanted to say how devastated I was to find out that you were leaving. You've inspired me in so many ways and you've taught me so much, even though you haven't even been my teacher for a year. Yeah, we're all going to miss you so much. Thank you for everything that you've done.
Hello, Mr. Thompson. I'd just like to say thank you for these past 2 years you have given me. Without you, I wouldn't have made it so far in music, understanding everything that I have. Thank you so much.
Hi sir, I just want to say thank you so much for everything you've done for me and everyone at Ardingly. You've inspired us all so much and we'll miss you. Good luck at your new school though, and please come visit.
Mr. Thompson, I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for us in the last few years. I wish you the best of luck with everything and thank you.
Hi Jack, just wishing you all the best for your new job. Thank you for everything you've done in your time at Ardingly. I know you're going to be hugely successful in Oxford and everywhere your career takes you. Oxford's not that far, so hopefully we might see you again from time to time. All the best.
Hi sir, just wanted to say thanks for all of your help over the past few years with music, especially with GCSE, and I hope that you enjoy your new job at Oxford.
Hi Jack. I'm not sure whether I'm going to see you before the end of term, so I just wanted to wish you all the best for the future, and I hope you enjoy your time in Oxford. I shall miss working with you and your quiet sense of humour, but hope all goes well for you and that you will keep in contact with us. Lots of love. Take care.
So there we are. Now, obviously, it looked a little bit morbid there, didn't it? So with 2016 to 2020. But one serious thing for Mr. Thompson, of course, I forgot to mention this earlier. One of his lasting legacies, of course, is the Thompson Memorial Library, as we've called it. Those pupils that left the school in 2016 don't know what they've missed. If you go into the classroom on the left-hand side, we have a nicely ordered music library, and those skills have been passed on to all of us, and certainly Miss Rainbird Early and the new graduate next year have got big shoes to fill with continuing that trend. But no, on a serious note, we can't thank the man sat on my right for everything he's done. It's, you know, a huge part of everything we have achieved in the last 4 years is down to the people that we have to inspire our children. And alongside the visiting music staff that we've got, we have some amazing full-time staff, and it is very much wishing Mr. Thompson all the best and all the success he deserves, because he makes it for himself. He works incredibly hard. He's incredibly talented. He's also an incredibly wonderful educator. And he alluded to me watching 30 lessons for his PGCE last year. What he didn't know was he got the top ranked music PGCE in the country. So that tells you something about the man, his modesty, his selflessness, but also that he is a wonderful educator. And no doubt one of the reasons why we have the numbers, particularly at GCSE, we do now, which is about 400% more than we did 3 years ago. There's a stat for you, is down to this man and his work. So I can't thank him enough. So just before we finish with our final number, it's really a chance for me to just echo a few thanks. I'd like to thank you, the parents, for everything that you've continued to do in this difficult time, supporting your children. Obviously, the advent of the online lessons has been instrumental. Ignore the pun. To the success of what we've done. But of course, you need to be there to help at that end. So I'm immensely grateful. Of course, we've got our wonderful visiting music teacher body, and they've had to adapt, and they've delivered simply outstanding tuition over the course of the last 10, 12 weeks. And of course, the other thing is the pupils and our leavers. We talked about our leavers. They will leave, no doubt, a legacy this year, I think, more than other years that we've encountered in my tenure. And you, the pupils that have contributed to our wonderful virtual music. And I really hope that sense of joy will arrive again when we meet in person, obviously in September. Of course, I'd like to thank all the college staff, all my esteemed colleagues, for all of their support as well during this period. And then, of course, the music department. With Ella Rainbird Early, who's been chiming in throughout this term. Of course, Mr. Smith as well, who runs such a brilliant ship in the prep school. And of course, the organizer beyond all organizers, Mrs. Wainwright. And then, of course, the man on my right, we've talked enough about him. If you're a staff member and you're watching, you'll hear me talk a bit more about him in a few minutes. We've got, obviously, Miss Gilmore-Bailey, who is simply wonderful, bringing yet more enthusiasm to our department. The effervescent, the pineapple of the music department, Mr. Pozzuto, who continues to amaze and inspire. And then, of course, simply, this would not happen without, and we are calling him a wizard. He is a total legend, is Ben Freer. He has done simply ridiculous work to put all of this together. And I cannot thank him enough. A case of beer will arrive with him at some stage in the holiday, but that really is a small token of what he has done. So,
can I say one thing before you do that?
Crikey.
I know that obviously you're very good at thanking everyone else, but I think it's important that we all thank you as well for everything that you've done. Obviously, for me personally over the past 4 years, but I think in terms of all the staff, all the students over this year, and also for this concert, it's been really good. So thank you for everything that you've done, both for this concert and over the year as a whole. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Thompson. So our final number. We've been in touch with another composer, Will Todd. And he has been great. He's given us a bit of insight into his piece, Call of Wisdom, which is a wonderful number written, I think, for St. Paul's Cathedral back in, I think, 2012. But he'll tell you a bit more detail about that. So the final thing as well I'd like to say, and I'm not sure if he's watching live, but a massive thanks to Mr. David Good, who is the head of keyboard and organist at Eton College, who, when we went into lockdown after half term, of course, we couldn't get into the chapel. And so we didn't have the superb key work of the man next to me. So I tried to call in a favour, not that I'd given him one, but anyway, a wonderful chap and phenomenal organist. So we need to thank him as well for his playing. So our final number, the Call of Wisdom, and I hope this is a fitting way to end our concert. So, as I always say, have a great summer, have a great break. You all deserve it. Boris is still not taking on the mantra, but it still stands with me. Be safe, keep safe, stay safe. See you soon, everyone.
Hi, Will Todd here. Greetings to everyone at Ardingly College. And I'm thrilled that you're doing a performance of The Call of Wisdom as part of your virtual concert that you've been working on. Now, as you may know, The Call of Wisdom was written for youth singers, and it was first performed for the Diamond Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth at St Paul's by a youth choir. So it's very fitting that you, as a younger group of singers, are going to sing this piece. I hope it goes really well. I want to wish you all the best in these difficult times, and we all look forward, of course, to singing together again in more normal circumstances. But for now, thank you so much for doing The Call of Wisdom.